There we go. We should be live now. Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
Hello, Stuart. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm mostly recovered from my secret shoot on Monday.
Good.
Yes. Turns out the three of us had uniquely different injuries from the long day. I had severe back of leg pain. Like, wow, my muscles are shot. Lady actor had huge wrist pain, like just really sore, and male actor had huge lower back pain. And it's like, I know all three doing different things as part of the film, but it's like, I was expecting at least some level of camaraderie. But there's some stunt work in that one, which is interesting. And yeah, so it was fun. But I was a bit more. I mean, I had just done 2 days of Star Trek before that, so like it was 3 days of 12-hour standing days. I was a bit ouch.
So back pain, wrist pain, and leg pain. What were you filming? It sounds very naughty.
I was outside the entire time until like 7 p.m. Then we kept going. Jesus. And costumes are hard to get on. They were quite intricate. But I'll be revealing this film on the weekend. So, because none of us want to keep it secret because it's too exciting. So, go.
Nice.
Reveal it.
So. Nice. Well, welcome back, everybody. Good to see you guys.
Hello.
Hit like. We have 39 people with 27 likes. Let's do better. Anyway. Yeah. So
I'm going to start the poll because there are four shows, 4 options. Let me put the poll up.
Please do. While he's doing that, like I said, click like, everybody, and welcome back. Yeah, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this, guys. So please, by all means, super chat in, help us out. I love that there's no discovery in the thumbnail.
I mean, there's no press exciting images of season 5 that are worth including.
What do you mean? Michael Burnham's riding a thing. It looks like a snowmobile.
But it's a much less exciting image than any of these 3.
I know.
Yeah.
But I just saw the thumbnail and I laughed when you sent it. I'm like, yeah.
But look how much like raw Trek goodness is here, Stu. I'm not going to include Michael Burnham. There's not in but it's great to see 7. I'm more encouraged by Kirk, and yes, that's not a new uniform for Janeway. That's a Wade team cold location jacket uniform variant. Okay, cool. Yes. Yeah. We haven't even talked about the teaser yet, which that'd be kind of actually a fun teaser to talk about. Kind of fits into the theme of today's live.
Apparently on the 27th is the last day of Lower Decks and the first episode
of
Prodigy. There's going to be overlaps, so yeah.
No, sorry, hold on. D. Luckily these things work on stun, so it's fine. Okay, that's not charged.
I just inserted an ad there when I yelled no. So.
That's fine. I'll do lowest stun. There you go, I'll be fine. Pew. Yeah.
Not at close range. It'll still kill you.
Oh no! That's how I feel about Discovery Season 5. No, I'm joking.
That's awesome.
Yes. Alright. Yeah. I will start sharing. See you in a minute.
Please do. That gives me a chance to speak with 53 of you, 55 of you now. 34 likes, guys. Hit that like button if you're just joining us. We want to hear your thoughts on this. There's like 4 new shows. There's 3 in the thumbnail, but 4 new shows. We're going to talk about what's more exciting and what we're looking forward to the most. And we want your thoughts. So please super chat in. It does support the channel, helps us out. We really need the support. So if you guys can do that, please do. You can also join the channel. There's a join button down there. By all means, click the join button. At least look at your options for helping us out. There's different tiers, and it's kind of like a monthly subscription service where you can help us out that way. Or you can head on over to Patreon/Trekyards, another monthly way to do that as well. It's all kind of diversified and different, joining the channel helps the analytics of the channel, and joining Patreon means we get a little bit more money from that. And there's different ways to support us. Also, there is a Teesprings and a T Public store down below. Check those out. There's some cool Trekyards merchandise, and we want to see you guys wearing it. So yeah, and join me this weekend at London Comic Con, London, Ontario. Got to clarify that. Every time I say London Comic Con, everybody's like, "Well, are you going to London?" No, I'm not going to London, England. London, Ontario. So if you're in the area, please stop by. Saturday and Sunday, the 17th and 18th. I will be hosting a panel with Robert Picardo, a Q&A on stage at 11:45 on Sunday, and would love you guys to join and come by and see the Trekyards captain's chair. We got a TOS captain's chair that's going to be there, and yeah. So, Zach Morris, do neither of you own a cat? No, I used to own a cat, 2 cats actually, but they got old and passed away, and we haven't got a cat. I got dogs though. So I got a little Chihuahua, which is like a cat dog, and then 2 pugs now. So, yeah. All right, 40 likes. Boom. You guys are rocking it. 58 people here, though. Let's try to get to 50 likes. That's another 10 likes. Hit that like button.
That should be easy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So do you have an instant reaction? Do you have a zip? Okay.
Instant reaction is Prodigy. I just want to see the last half of the first season, and it's very Star Trek, and I'm really digging it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. So I'm excited for Prodigy the most. If I had to rank them,
sure, yeah,
probably Prodigy, then Picard, then Strange New Worlds, then Discovery. Yeah, how about you?
Oh, you know what's annoying, Stuart? Was really annoying. It just melts the brain sometimes.
What's annoying?
When I entirely agree with you.
Red Letter Day, guys. Mark it down. It's 14th of September, 2022. A momentous thing.
You did not expect that, did you, Stuart?
No.
I was keying in for that. No, I will actually. I was. Yeah. I think that is a fair rating. I am blessed with certain knowledge of Prodigy, which I'm excited. I mean, very minor stuff, but tech stuff is exciting. Picard, hoping there's more hope than knowledge, but how can you get the entire TNG cast and not be good?
Easily. They will find a way. Have you seen seasons 1 and 2?
I did, Stuart. With you, in fact, every week.
And we were disappointed.
Some weeks. Strange New Worlds, I mean, it's going to be great, which is a great thing to be able to say, but it's not prime visual canon, non-arguably. Irrelevant to real canon, it's not prime visual canon, so it is by its very nature like a JJ film, and it's its own thing. It'll be great, but I will not link into it in a way I do to the rest of the shows because they're not trying to link, and that's going to be a disconnect forever. Discovery is its own thing. So much its own thing that okay,
yeah,
I'll watch it. But it was shocking. We did that brief let's recap the season, and we got bored within 5 minutes because there's just so little of interest. That's a really sad day. When it's just the least interesting. There's just nothing in season 5 I can look forward to. As like, what could they do? It's like nothing except Admiral Vance. Seeing more of him. That is the only interest sake. Every one of these shows has distinct interest points. So season 5. Not even seeing the Voyager J because of the lack of, not even that is interesting per se.
And yes, Dan, what Titan was a fan design was actually called the Shangri-La, and then Bill Krause, who designed it, got to work on the show. So they just used his designs and changed them. So actually, he's changed them. Doc McGillicuddy, though, throws in $5.
Thank you, Doc.
There is a showstopper in the mall. You're going to love it. Also, Strange New Worlds all the way, then Lower Decks, then Prodigy, then Picard, lastly Disco.
In the mail, not the mall. I was like, what are you on about?
Oh, mail. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yes, thank you for the package.
So confused. Does he know about a mall in season 3 of Picard? Like, they go to a convenience mall, and it's like, oh my god. I didn't include Lower Decks because it's currently on.
Yeah.
And it'll be the furthest away, and it's every week. You can't afford to if it's like in 2 days. I mean, not that you can't, but it's right now. And that'd be sad if we're looking forward to other shows with the ones currently airing. It's like, no, let that one air. You know, let it happen.
Brian Donaldson, member for 6 months at the rank of Admiral. Thank you, Admiral. That's awesome.
Wow.
I'm most excited for Picard Season 3. However, I felt the same way before each season and have been completely let down once the season starts. Hopefully third time's a charm. Totally agree with you there. It's been hyped up to be so good. It's going to blow us away. So we'll see.
That is also a tricky thing because they're doing everything they can to tell us it's going to be better than the previous two. Just sad they have to do that anyway. They should be good seasons. But boy, they keep upping expectations.
Yeah, I was kind of underwhelmed and disappointed by the trailer somewhat, just because it's so dark and muddy and just looks like shit. It doesn't look vibrant and bright. Even the glorious scenes were like, hello, beautiful. The lighting is awful. You know?
It has been clarified that is another teaser. It is not a trailer. And so therefore it's teasing. Like you see every cast for one shot. Doesn't actually, you know. So I think that is the grain of salt of it trying to tease. But certainly, you know, lights, camera, action. The lights are an important part of that.
Yeah, especially for Star Trek. Anyway, there's some tones and things we saw in that I just was not impressed with. So, but hey. But we want to hear your thoughts, guys. So please make sure you super chat in with your thoughts and things you're looking forward to. We're still 6 likes away from our 50. That's the first goal. And we got enough people here that you can hit that. So 6 of you just hit that like button for us. We'd appreciate that.
Yes. But it's interesting that each shows a different sort of excitement. I don't know if I'd agree by that. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Like the fact that Prodigy has 40 episodes. I mean, we know Lower Decks has another season, but it's not one big story, even though it sort of is, but Prodigy really is. Knowing that it's just chapter 2 of 4, at least, that's a level of excitement that's hard to wrap around because we've never had that, ever. But also that it's so well, and I thank them for building up slowly because, you know, we commented so early on it was a Star Wars show until it was a sort of Trek, and then it's like Stargate Universe. It's a poor week to week. It's a fantastic binge. But once you create a show that's so slow, that's really only good as a binge, when they get to the payoffs, they took time in the setup. They feel all more sweet. Versus, you know, Justice League, where there's no setups. The payoffs feel, oh wow, there's Aquaman. Hey. Versus, oh my god, that rotation shot of all the Avengers together for the first time fighting. Ah! You know, so that will be not comparable, but certainly they're building to something. And especially as if you recall the end of Prodigy Season 1, Part 1. We'll have to clarify that. Literally the villain of the show is presumably stuck on Tars Lamora in a lava cave. Insane, literally. So that's quite a place for the villain to be. So he's either out of the series or out of the series for a bit. So, you know, good job, team. You beat the villain. What's next?
Yeah.
It's kind of a ballsy place to be at the end of Part 1 of Season 1.
Yeah. Jordan Shred, $2. Thank you so much. Lower Decks, Season 4. Picard, Season 3.
Hey, fair. I get you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree. But it's showing, so I'm not as excited for Season 4. I'm seeing Season 3.
So, Lower Decks, Picard, Strange New Worlds, Discovery, and Prodigy's last. Oh my goodness. You want to see Discovery Season 5 before Prodigy? Oh.
Damn.
I'm looking at you. I'm judging you, Jordan. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. If you have the preconception it was a kids' show, which it isn't, and if you weren't taken in by the first 3, I get it. There was a barrier to entry to Prodigy, which is ironic because it's a show that is meant to be for kids that haven't seen Trek. So it's weird that itself is a barrier for Trek fans. But it's just a small hill. Once they get to the transporter episode and such, that's all past. So.
Yeah. Zach Morris said it'd be cool if Prodigy transitions to a live action midway through its run.
That'd be expensive.
Don't know if that would work.
You know, have a Lower Decks Prodigy live action duo scene. You know, short treks.
Yeah.
Well, that's speaking of. I mean, I'm certainly very excited for the Lower Decks Stranger Worlds crossover. That is a subdivision of a subdivision of. And they've already shot it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, it is in the can.
Jordan Shred said Prodigy is aimed at a different audience, and I recognize that. I'll still watch it. It's not, though. It's not a kids show. The stories they're telling are quite intricate and very elaborate compared to Discovery, honestly. And they're way more canon loving. Like, they definitely stick to the canon, the visual canon, and we appreciate that.
Well,
and somebody like Dan will say, well, I don't understand why everything looks different uniforms. We've already addressed that. The tech's different and the uniforms are different because it's an experimental ship.
Like, super experimental.
Like, look at the Dauntless. Those uniforms are spot on. That's
only somewhat experimental. That's like first of line, not super even pre. But Jordan, though, you say different audiences. That's fine in the abstract, but who's it aimed at? Prodigy. Like, if he's chosen,
he'll say kids.
But kids but haven't seen Star Trek. But they won't know who Chakotay is. They won't know who Janeway is. Why would they care? I mean, yes, you meant to like them going in, but you know, she works best with 7 years of knowledge in a film.
Yeah. Chuck A throws in $2. Thanks, Captain, please state nature of medical emergency.
The talk track.
Wow, I think he's saying that because I'm hosting Robert Picardo on Sunday. Sunday at 11:45 on stage. Yes.
Excellent.
It will be great. Glorious.
Glory to you and your...
When you were sharing.
Your chat.
Yeah.
Dear me. Yeah, he's a fella. He's got some personality to him. He's a fun. I've interviewed him, which I haven't released yet because they didn't get views, so you hold on to them. But he's a fun go interview. Well, I think he was having coffee. I was having water and just chitty chatted.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well. We've kind of given our breakdowns already. Bye.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I want to see them each for different reasons. I think we should probably go into that.
Mm-hmm.
Prodigy's the main one just because it's following. It seems like the prime timeline. We got an older Janeway, older Chakotay on the Prodigy. Want to see Chakotay show up. It's weird that Okuna's there.
Yes, that's the big twist. I had no idea that was him. It wasn't clear enough from his character model. No,
it wasn't.
I was told.
But he's now been in Lower Decks, Prodigy, and TNG. So he's definitely
It's like a sci-fi pirate from that. Do you remember that movie that you love, the animated one that's aged a bit, but that you love? Fantasy. It's called. It's no video game series, but it's not the same thing. Final Fantasy. Is that what it's called? No. Storm Within, Desert Within. There's a
The Spirit Within.
Yeah, looks like one of those character models, like that sort of like vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of that teaser, I mean, I was such a whirlwind.
Forza Jersey throws in $2. Picard season 3. If good TNG send off. Strange New Worlds, Prodigy, no Star Trek Discovery.
I mean, that is the caveat. If it's good.
Well, I don't see. We talked about this before we went live. I talked to Anthony Rapp a few days ago. He's like, "Oh, things are going really well. We're halfway through filming." And then today, I see an article that they just finished writing the season. So they started filming before they were finished. Kind of reminds me of the Star Wars sequel movies. No plan going in. So I'm discouraged quite a bit about season 5. So, not a good sign.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I know TNG didn't write all 26 before they started filming. They did.
No, but there's no one story arc though. That's what Discovery is.
Yeah, that's very fair. But they probably know the end. It's just they can't be as nuanced with the steps.
But that seems like it's going to have the Picard problem of season 2. They knew the beginning, they knew the end, and then the middle is all just filler and crap. And I don't want that again for Discovery, unfortunately.
And they have they got COVID as an excuse? Are they still COVIDing over there?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
So there's no excuse for it to be that as an issue. In fact, now you'd think if COVID is not a problem, a huge amount of budget's been freed up, so they should now be significantly higher budget show because they can spend whatever they're allocated. As you can imagine, burning money every day in every department and COVID stuff. So just things more expensive just by the very nature of COVID.
Yeah.
And it's hard though because the actors, same thing. You know, how can they? Well, there's two ways of thought. Either you want to know where your character's going to have subtext, or you want to be surprised week by week so that you're reacting with them. Certainly for the, villain of the season, it'd be good to know where his plot's going. I'm sure they would tell. Although for, character reveals, if you know that in 6 episodes you're going to die, you'll find a love interest, and then, sometimes it's better to live it as you go. So I can see both. Yeah.
Well, Savannah Cater says, I love how he says, I spoke with Anthony Rapp a few days ago nonchalantly. Oh, me and Anthony are tight, man. I almost gave him my hotel key
several times, Yeah, I wouldn't even bother name dropping who I've spoke to this week because that's not the point. I don't want to talk about it.
I know. We should actually, though, just so they know.
Well, I've got 2. Next week, sure, next week.
We have surprises coming.
We're having a good week this week so far, Stuart.
Yeah.
Stuart, cheers. Yes. Although, boy, you saved it last week because we were. That could have gone so bad.
Oh yeah, damage control.
Damage control, and I was able to take that ball, fucking throw it up a hill, and see if I can catch it on the other side. It's close.
There's a story there. We'll tell you guys later. Verpine, $5. Strange New Worlds. Prodigy. Picard.
Okay.
Been burned too many times. Disco. What's that? He says.
See, I can also get Strange New Worlds because they've proven themselves to be the highest single quality, single season show.
Yeah.
But I think you'll agree with this. I think back, 3 stand out. If you were to ask me to pitch all 10 again, I would have a problem. They haven't stuck in my brain. That's not a good thing. And we review them so much, so detailed.
Yeah.
Whereas there's so much of the other shows that you could... And obviously it happens on every other show as well. Just, I feel like Lower Decks, I could more easily dissect, like run down the episodes or whatever.
Yeah. Well, Jason6690, who's been a member for 32 months at the rank of captain, so thank you, Captain.
Thanks so much.
Picard Season 3, Strange New Worlds, Prodigy, and then Discovery. Nice.
I'm having a small argument about Patrick Stewart's budget requirements. And Doc McGillicuddy says it took Marvel $10 million to bring Stewart back for 5 minutes of screen time, yet CBS had to pay. Well, I'd love to see a quote for $10 million, because that seems a little bit high. But also, every agent will base their budget they ask on the style of film. A Marvel film has infinite money, if you want something. And he had retired from the character, so they had to apply him with double, you know what I mean? They'd apply him with more.
Yeah.
So that you can understand. A TV show, you always get less, but you get work for longer. Because, I mean, it might be great if you get 5 minutes of screen time, but Patrick's not going to win any awards for his appearance in Doctor Strange. It's not award worthy. You're not going to talk about it in that many years. It's not that engaging. It's more just for the wow, we've got him. Versus a TV show where you get a lot more lines, a lot more acting, a lot more chance to really make an impact, to develop something. As an actor, you'd rather do something meaningful than just stand there and say, hello, I'm here, money, goodbye. That's great for to pay off a house, but actors are not there just to make money. They're there for the craft. The money is there as the okay, cool, we're clear. So I can imagine Patrick got maybe a similar amount, but for an entire season, and you know, that's for how many? The 6 months versus 2 days. So but I think he was probably getting a substantial percentage of each episode, but a substantial percentage per one item might be like 5% of every episode budget. They're still substantial, or 20%, but it's not the percentage. It's anything more, maybe Kurtzman's getting more in terms of royalties. I doubt it, but he's definitely the single biggest one-person money draw. Although I would assume that the TNG cast took a same deal clause, like you pay all of us the same, out of respect to each other. I would assume, Patrick being the exception, he probably, so say if he got paid 10 million for a season, I would assume like Jonathan got paid 5 million for a season, and then they all took the same deal so that he got less than he's potentially worth, but Marina got more potentially. I would hope
Matt Boardman said it was reported in 2019 that Sir Patrick Stewart was getting $750,000 per episode.
Yeah, I could see that.
And yes, Matt, you do know that story. Eric Skelton, $2.
Thank you.
How many people are actually watching Discovery? A lot. We are.
I would like to know the numbers. I really would, because in some networks, 500,000's good enough. Some networks, 2 million is too few. I would love to know. I can't imagine all of the people. I don't know.
Well, it's odd considering that Discovery was canceled after season 1. Like I heard that so many times.
Yeah, and
so
for sure.
Is this all a fever dream that they're in season 5 now?
Well, I'm if anything, shows their strength. The fact they got cancelled and renewed on the same day for 4 seasons in a row. It's just staggering, really.
After every season, they get cancelled and renewed. It's a miracle.
Yeah, it's remarkable. It could be said to be so amazing it's bullshit. Some could say.
Some could say. Squadron Course throws in $1 looking for that last super chat snipe already. Damn.
What?
Man.
You're like, what? You cheeky fuck.
Another thing I should bring. This is kind of a side topic, but the Tomy Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks to Doc McGillicuddy.
Although reiterate what that is for the audience, because I know, but
it's the $600 die-cast Enterprise with all the lights and the saucer separation and stuff. They sent out a email with a poll asking, all right, we're going to do another one. We're going to crowdfund another one. Here are your 4 choices. The 4 choices were the TMP refit Enterprise, D7, TOS D7 battlecruiser, the Galaxy class Enterprise, and the Strange New Worlds Enterprise. So you had to vote those in order of what you would want. And then after that, it said, now, what would you want? Like, again, a 32-inch for $600. And then there was 2 other options, a 24-inch for like $400, and then another one. But they'd all have the lights and everything as well. Can you guess my order out of those 4 that I selected?
My gut says refit D7 Stranger Worlds, but I think you went refit D7 Galaxy Stranger Worlds.
Exactly, yeah. Yes. Yeah, you're right. And I did select the 32-inch again because I would love a refit in 32-inch that's all die-cast metal and lit.
Yeah. Well, because when you get to 10 scale, it becomes impressive. When you goes lower, you want that extra oomph. I mean, I can't imagine the refit wouldn't win, especially as it's so much harder to build.
I think it'll be a toss-up between the refit and Enterprise D. A lot of people are feeling burned by Eagle Moss with the big Enterprise D. So, I mean, a 32-inch Enterprise D is the same size almost as the Eagle Moss one, I think.
Right. Well, the irony being...
And it had its problems, so...
The irony being that the detail level you're going to get on a refit is substantially more than Enterprise D, because the D is so much bigger that it shrinks down so drastically. It will look a lot less impressive. Like, you won't be able to have a shuttle bay open with any worthwhile detail, really. It's not... Whereas a refit, you will. So just money per interest, that's worth it. The Stranger Worlds Enterprise, that's a tricky one because it's a much larger ship as well, so that should also be lower detail. But the proportions are built towards the original scale, so it's sort of relevant. And D7 just feels a bit wasteful. No offense, just as a model, like
no,
do the other ones first.
I think the other 3 have much more of a chance. I mean, Strange New Worlds is on now. Everybody loves the new design. like I said, people were burned by the Enterprise D, so that's obviously a good option. And of course, the refit. I mean, that's gonna win, I think, because they said it's the motion picture era one, which means it should have the pearlescent paint and everything. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So, and it's hard to say what kind of lighting scheme they're gonna have, or
how far do they go? Because
you can, changing the deflector from yellow to blue, all that stuff.
And it comes with shuttles, so they might have work bees and shuttles.
Yeah.
SD5 shuttle and a work bee, because they weren't short on extras,
Yeah. Sorry, that kind of sidelined the chat a little bit, but I just want to point that out. Yeah.
But that also shows that they obviously didn't. So the company did not raise their goal. They had to lower their goal drastically, just to raise it, which shows they did not do proper market research. They did not guess the audience reaction. However,
their lives were fucking awful showing off that ship.
They should have phoned us.
I know. I emailed them.
Did you get a response?
No.
And you bought 7s. No. But the fact that I'm sure the people that did donate for crowdfunding us, passionate motherfuckers. So they've managed to gain an audience which will do more. Give it a bunch of time in between the versions, but that audience will go again. Like a large chunk, I guarantee a large chunk,
I think it'd be good for them as a marketing strategy to anybody that bought the TOS one to get something extra if they get another one.
And then every time you buy the next one, you get a freebie on the next one.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think that
$600, you get a $50 freebie next time that we mass produced from China that costs us 7 cents to make. Yes.
Yeah, well, will they do that? Possibly. But anyway, we should get to super chats before we get too far off track.
Well, let us know. Would you spend $600 on a Revert Enterprise? And how big versus the 350 scale? Because
It's the same as the 350 scale. 32 inches long. So 3 feet.
So that's a replacement in a sense.
Yes.
On the market.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have to finish building mine because I know I'm going to screw it up. I'm not going to get the paint right. I'm not going to get the lighting right.
So what you're saying is you've literally aged out your build by another build coming that's professional.
Yes.
But it means you could now make a new ship, maybe kit bash a Foley out of it. Buy a third nacelle, make a dreadnought.
Ooh.
I mean, make a refit dreadnought. I mean, I'm sure Michael Wiley or Bill Krause would happily, tell you how to 3D print some parts. Wouldn't be hard. Stick them on, paint them.
Well, they have them. They already have the aftermarket parts to make those into the Ascension class or whatever.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. You got a Connie, another Connie, a third, the toy Connie. You got 3 same-size Connies of 3 very plastic, resin, metal, and a Enterprise D. And then, God.
I'll have to build a new house to display them all.
Just to have Sylvia move out. You had all 3 kids. Sylvia next.
Well, the third one's still here. So anyway.
True.
Jason 6690 throws in $10. So thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
I think that if these new shows were actually on network TV like it used to be back in the day, you were ship numbers, and the acceptance of those new shows would be a lot higher. Well, that's what I've always talked about, the difference in the viewing experience these days, because you have so many streaming services and so many great shows on each. But it's not on an allocated time. You don't have a choice of only 4 channels. Everybody was kind of watching the same stuff, more or less, back in the day. Now there's just so much variety, and it's like, I want to watch that one show. I just haven't got around to it yet, or whatever, It's not like
I've not seen Hawkeye.
Anymore.
When was that? Last year? Yeah. I want to, but time and place and... But do you think if it was on network TV today, because there are still network TV shows, TV networks, would that be better?
Yes, I think it would be better, honestly, for viewership. But, I mean, it is kind of in Canada here because we have it on CTV Sci-Fi, which is just... So all of the Star Trek shows, because they have a deal with them, because they film in Toronto, that they're all aired on CTV Sci-Fi. So kind of weird though. It's only Canada that I think does that. So yeah,
But, okay, this is a great little chat question. Who in the chat still has a network television subscription to the main, plug and play networks that isn't using an online source? I've not watched any live TV in that format for years, not since I lived at home before university. I swapped to YouTube pretty much when I moved to university, and then, like I say, Netflix, and I don't do appointment television. I want to watch this show I'm watching, let me finish the show, great, next show. And I think most people do that now. But so even if they had that, yes, it would then be free in the sense you'd already have the service, but who has the service anymore? Now, what is good, though, is when it comes to things like Amazon, because I do not know why you wouldn't have Amazon Prime. It's the single most useful service I could imagine for things. And so I get them free. I'm always going to have Amazon Prime. It's so useful that, but some people don't,
Yeah, I mean, we have it because through Start, Sylvia's company, we get the TV stuff for free, but I never watch it live ever. I don't even DVR stuff anymore, really. There's no need for it because all the Discovery shows I want to watch or whatever, they're always on Discovery Plus, which we also have. So, it's every now and then it's good when you're cleaning to just throw on, kind of let the TV decide what you're watching. It's background noise, so you don't have to pay attention, but.
So you're saying they'll put Discovery on the background as background noise and get them extra views?
I mean,
I would love to see ratings though, for the different shows. I mean, it's split between different networks, but which one won? I'm sure Discovery had a viewership first couple and it dive bombed. In Interest season 2 maintained. Season 3 it went up, then went down. Season 4 went up, went down, down, down. I'm sure by the end of season 4 it was quite low. Strange Worlds, I bet it was pretty much the same viewership the entire time, I would think, if not more by the end, because of word of mouth. Picard, I'm sure, started really strong and dive bombed near the end. Gained a lot for the last 2, and then season 2 had low ratings the first episode, probably huge for the second, and then went down again. Prodigy, I would imagine, would have very respectable but not impressive numbers. Like relatively low, medium, because it's such an unknown entity. And Lower Decks, I'd love to know, because either people bought into it or didn't buy into it. Can't hear you, Stuart.
Sorry about that. Casual Trekkers throws in $5 and says most shows aren't doing writing the whole season before they air. This is why the writer's strike always sucks, because scripts can't be completed.
Well, how many writer strikes are there?
I don't know. Is there one going on right now that I'm not aware of? I don't.
So I feel like if I was given a 26 episode order or 10 episode order, I would definitely write this episode by episode outline. Like first day, I have the first objective. But I don't know, as someone who does film Star Trek production episodes, I have to write the next thing. I can't write that far ahead. I've got more things to be doing. But also got a writer's room whose job is literally to write the show. Like if Michelle Paradise is writing the entire show, that's fine. But if you've got 7 writers, they're not all at the same time on 7 desks writing the same Word document. Like, surely they're all... What are they all doing to a script? Why aren't they all writing an episode? Because normally you're assigned an episode. Surely you've got 7 writers writing the first 7. Then once they finish one, they go into the last few. Like, it's all different in every showrunner room, but it seems odd that why have that many writers who aren't writing the show? What are they doing then? Checking grammatical errors? Do you have to hire that many people?
Well, there's probably a designated writer for Discovery that's like, here's a script. You need to insert 3 scenes of Michael Burnham crying and whisper talking. Alter it as you see fit. That's your job.
I mean, that must be a huge pain in the ass to have. You write the script, and then someone says, "Oh well, this has to factor into our big season. Take out this plot, put in that episode, which then ruins your pace.
That's
add back in a new scene with Stamets because he's not been in 3 scenes. Boom. We want to have this political statement here. Let's include this scene. And you're like, well, my pace is fucked.
Yep.
Oh, and you want to change the ending because the next writer has changed his start.
Yep.
Outline filming in 2 weeks. But you've got to use all the same props and costumes. So you've got to put it in the bar, even though it's a breakup scene with 2 aliens that don't have physical bodies. Why are they in the bar? Because you've got a bar set booked that day. It's like, right!
That's the problem with these new shows, is designed by committee. Well, not just design of starships, but story, everything. It's not as cohesive as it used to be. Because it used to be that way. A writer would write a script idea, get approved, and then write the episode, following the Bible for the show. That's not the case anymore. It's a bunch of people sitting around a boardroom going, we have to just do the check marks. Check, add, or delete things. That's a bit of a problem. So anyway, Eric Skelton, $5. I gave up on Discovery after season 3. Reveal that a kid physically destroyed all the active dilithium in the galaxy. Nope, but I love Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, I think we're in the minority for liking that in its general twist.
Yep.
I mean, it shouldn't be there in general, but of all the twists, yeah.
Tom Casey, $5. Late to the game, as always. Stop by to say hello. Super busy. Well, good to see you, Tom. Hopefully you heard us read that. If you're super busy.
Indeed.
It's one of the problems with, sometimes being behind in the chat a little bit. But thank you so much. Yeah.
It'd be very interesting to go back, because I'm sure that one thing the animated shows have as a giant advantage, the script's under half as long. So if you're writing, and the longer the script is, every added page increases the complexity, because keeping a good pace is very difficult.
Isn't it 1 page for every minute of
that's a standard average. It'll deviate based on every factor under the sun, but as a basic rule, it's a good rule to go by. Often CG epic battle takes no time to show. Often dialogue can be really quick to say. Yeah, it varies, but that is the basic rule. So yeah, 50 pages to 24, huge difference. And especially in a show of an animated form of an action drama, where you have a clear sort of pre-real story moment. The story sets up, story gets going, there's a problem to solve, they solve the problem, you have a nice wrap up, done. It works as a formula, and you can kind of burn through, if you know what the plot is, you can burn through it quite quickly. If you've got 50 minutes, and you're chapter 6 out of 10, and you're not given any big story beats to do, and you have to fill 56 minutes, but you can't tell the story of the next episode because you're locked in. Like how Raffi and Seven are doing the bar thing about checking the how they found Jurati. It's like, this is all you have for them to show. You want me to fill 9.5 minutes? This is 3 minutes of content. But you can't... If it's committee, that's the whole point. If it's done by committee, then they are determining where the beats are. Whereas if you write everything in advance, then you can have a refinement series where, well, we don't need this, we can put in a new cool scene. Because you always hear of cool things that were taken out. Like Terry Matalas just said, they had a cool scene in the season 2 finale originally, at least in one of the scripts, where Jurati spilled some beans about the Borg. It was cut for time, cut for production time. It's like, but that's far more exciting than watching Picard do shit in the tunnels for extra minute, you know? Move something and give me that in there.
Squadra Course throws in another $1, looking for that last super chats again. Squadra Course, man. Thank you, though. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Should we do a new poll? We got 135 votes.
Tell us the results.
Which I'm surprised by the results, actually. What are you most excited for? Strange New World Season 2 wins the day with 56%.
Oof.
Fair enough. Coming in
in
at second place is Picard Season 3, which again with all the hype up and talk about how much better it's going to be, I can kind of understand why. Okay.
Although, isn't that an achievement for a show to reignite a failed hype machine 3 times? It's like, we betrayed you once, let's rehype. We betrayed you a second time, let's rehype. That's impressive. That's how much Jean-Luc Picard as a character has in terms of clout, that they can literally punch you in the face and punch you in the dick, and then still make you excited to get punched in the, or maybe not punched in the face. Crazy.
Well, Prodigy season 1.5 comes in at 14%.
Jesus.
And Discovery season 5 is at 4%, which that one I expect. That's great. I don't know. I don't know why Prodigy isn't getting higher. Prodigy's definitely proven itself episode upon episode way better than Picard has.
Oh, the batting average. Yeah. I mean, that one Hollow episode where he learns to be a team player with, literally, working out new Spock dialogue based on old lines. Genius. Wonderfully done. I mean, that's fascinating. That's really interesting. Okay, yeah, I'll end the poll.
That's 140 votes as well, so that's great.
Very interesting.
Guys, we're going to do a new poll probably. We have 81 likes with 86 people here. I want to get to 100 likes, so if you haven't hit the like button, give it a tap for us. We'd really appreciate that. Keep the super chats coming. We're a little bit over a quarter of our way to our minimum, so if you guys can throw in some 5s or 10s or whatever, letting us know your thoughts on these upcoming shows, anything you want us to discuss, concerns you have, things you're excited for, let us know. Super chat away, and we'd really appreciate that. It does help us out. So why is Discovery getting a season 5? I don't know, man. It got canceled after season 1. I heard there's a bunch of channels reporting on that, so it's
Kurtz went through a TV, remember? Or Punch TV.
Oh yes, of course he did. Damn. Yeah. Kashink says gotta be Star Trek Prodigy and Picard and Strange New Worlds. Yeah. Samuel and I agreed on the ranking of what we're most excited for. So
lose Stuart's mind. Yeah, it's a weird one because the animated factor puts off part of the audience. It's always going to happen. I've someone an online personality who says he can't watch anything animated because the uncanny valley gets to him. The fact they're not real people, and just the entire animation category is out for anything, which is really sad. But the advantage of yes, you might have a substantially smaller audience potential. Fine. The difference is the shows are infinitely more cheap to make. So with a smaller audience, a smaller return is what you're needed. And it looks as if they're doing a better return for the investment. So, I say if Picard's 8 million an episode, I mean, Prodigy is going to be under 1 million, I'd think, an episode. Maybe 1 million an episode. And that's still being quite generous. Yeah.
So the new poll is: do you more want to see a Picard spinoff, or like Star Trek 7 of 9 maybe, or Discovery renewed for season 6? Good poll.
There you go.
I just read a thing too from Kate Mulgrew, who she was asked about a Star Trek Janeway. And she goes, well, Janeway's really kind of proven herself, and there's a lot of years there that were kind of unexplored. That'd be great. So not necessarily a spin-off of Picard, like not using a Picard character, but focusing on some of the other captains would be great. A Janeway series, maybe even a Star Trek Archer at some point. Get Scott Bakula back to do.
Could be a curveball.
Could do the Romulan, an older Archer.
Yeah.
I think that would be fantastic. So yeah, I mean, I know what I would vote for there. The audience with 32 votes so far is kind of right there with us. So
yeah, I mean that's super tricky because I if it's the people that made season 1 and season 2, leave Janeway alone. The Prodigy guy's doing a much better job with her. I've only seen her say, "He's out there somewhere, Chakotay. I'll find you." Better. Hey, there we go. We did Janeway better. Like that's it. It's all they've done so far, and it's already better than Picard in the generality of quality line per whatever. Now, if it's someone who knows what they're doing, like can actually create what they want the fan, do it properly, then of course a Janeway show. She's far younger. She can do far more. She looks much better now than she did a couple of years ago. She's been in the zone for Star Trek Online, Prodigy, in both good and bad form. Well, actually, no, good, bad, and Admiral form. So she's been a lot of Janeway recently. Mm-hmm. And you've got 7 of 9 in uniform, so you can easily have it be 1 year after Picard. Bring in Chakotay, bring in 7. Although it kind of would give away Prodigy's ending because everyone lives, but still. Yeah, I mean...
Well, it could be the lead up to Prodigy with Janeway and Chakotay. And bringing in 7 and 9 would be that crossover linchpin to Picard.
So, Jerry,
seen more of their relationship.
13 years younger, please. What? Because that's... I mean, Prodigy's significantly before Picard. It's not that far from Nemesis. There's 10 plus years of gap.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was done well, I mean, if Terry's as good as everyone says, give him Star Trek Janeway, you know, pitch Kate a 3-season arc and actually stick to it. My God. And then you can get Patrick to cameo in that. Or at least, you know, do the Nemesis, have him on the view screen, on the pop-up thing. Yeah. Well, Admiral Janeway, I'm sending you to Romulus. Oh, God damn it, Jean-Luc. Yes, the Praetor is looking for peace. This is so familiar of years ago, Jean-Luc. Yes, it is. April Fools. You go to Cardassia. Ah, shit. Goldu Cod's back, because Mark Amos is still alive. I hate that guy. There you go.
Well, Doc McGillicuddy says it's cheaper to do series than movies. There is a guy I know that makes YouTube videos that's currently editing Disco into a 2-hour movie. See, that could work.
That I'd love to see.
Yes, I would love to see. Let us know which YouTube channel that is, because I would like to check that out. SVS Guru 2000 throws in €5. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's like being forced to choose between being kicked in the balls or slapped in the face.
Oh, face.
I know, but he's not talking about the poll.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
Eric Skelton, $5.
Thanks, Eric.
How about a Federation President Archer or Janeway series, like a Star Trek version of The West Wing? Space politics, not real politics. I mean, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of politics at all, in generalities, but it could work.
Yeah, but a lot of DS9 is the space politics.
Yeah, I know, but it's tempered with other stuff in each episode.
Well, I think that's what you have to do. You'd have to be the A plot is politics, but they've got a fantastic B and C plot. I don't know if I would agree that TV shows are cheaper than movies. A TV return is far smaller than a movie can be. You know, you're selling, you know, $15 a ticket if you get 30 people to buy your ticket.
Yeah.
Whereas one house pays one Netflix, you might have 6 people. 6 people have seen it, 1 subscription, and you only get a chunk of that. Paramount Plus subscription doesn't go to Discovery when you watch it. So movies make a substantial more profit. Yes, they might be cheaper in that you don't have to spend $200 million on a TV series, but they also will not make that money back in the same way at all. I mean, those things are just there to just help make more for the next season. You know, I don't know how much profit there is in TV besides keeping everyone employed because part of it is just we want to keep employed for years. So if we can make a profit, we will invest in the next season, which then means we get to pay our salary. Whereas a movie is about generating tens, hundreds of millions to a studio to reinvest in multiple movies, where you have an end game that makes $2 billion and $1.5 billion profit. That then lets them make the small films that are going to make $10 million profit if they're lucky. But those things will win awards that gets the company kudos.
Yeah,
that's why you need both. You can't just ignore blockbusters because they are literally what pays the bill. Especially if you have like Disney having billions in debt from COVID. Well, they need all their endgame money went on COVID. But obviously, to commission 7 Marvel shows, I mean that's hundreds of millions.
Yeah,
probably billion plus.
And Matt Boardman says there's typically always more money to be made in feature films and television. I always get paid more to work on features than I do to work on episodic television. I would think episodic, well, it depends on the show. Like a show like Game of Thrones, I think would be quite expensive. The sets you'd have to make. I mean, you can reuse stuff, but a lot of the wardrobe doesn't get reused necessarily. Some things you only see once.
But that's a different thing you just said. expensive to make because the items they're making are expensive. The people on it aren't getting paid more, but they're producing more things. If they have to build a set that takes 50 hours, carpenter's being paid the same regardless, versus a movie where it's 2 days to build a set, gets turned down another set. The people aren't what are getting paid different. It's just a movie you have a TV show you have the year. A movie you normally have sort of 6 months in production, and it's much quicker. You can spend an entire day, 2 days, 3 days on a scene in TV. You can spend half a day on a movie because you've got to do the next movie, because everyone's being paid more because they have to do more, and it's like if a stunt team's involved in a day, that changes the amount you can spend on the day, because now you're paying for so much more. Whereas a TV show often, as you know, they do filler days where, let's go talk in this arena for one scene. You just paid the basic crew and the 2 actors. Like, that's a very, very cheap day. Whereas a feature film where they might have huge dolly track shots and really intricate things, because they've got 6 minutes of a tired dog sequence. How to make it interesting? Well, they've got to do really cool things.
I'm curious as to production crews, how they're different for like a show like Game of Thrones and to a movie. Is there more production crew on a TV show, or would there be the same as a movie?
But that's just because you have variants. Like, you'd have for a show in space wouldn't need a wood, like, to make wood look like wood specialist. But Game of Thrones, you'd have metal people and wood people and like a more broad base, I would say. So yes, in a general sense, I would say, but that is going to be very comparable. I mean, that is basically a movie production house, just in TV show format. Other shows obviously don't, because it's a romantic comedy show set in a quiet suburban house. There's like 6 dudes and Bob, the director.
Yeah. Well, some shows are. Yeah. I'm just thinking more grandiose shows.
Yeah. Well, those are basically movies now. That's kind of the vibe, and those things. You look forward to working. Because the main idea of a show is to have more seasons, so you can keep getting paid, so you can keep making more shows, so you can get better and make cool stuff. If you want to have, imagine every Voyager actor had 7 years of work, where they knew every year what they're going to earn, and theoretically more every year, or at least more every couple of years. You've got a job, you've got money. That means you can budget your entire life. You can buy a house because you're going to be there for years. You can, it's the stability that we don't often have in life in general. As a movie, you get lots of money, but then how many of us can live without an income for how long? A movie without having movie. That's why you'll often take lower money for a show, because you're set. Yeah.
Scott Branson, $5. Thank you so much, Scott. I'm done with Picard with the way they treated optimistic for Strange New Worlds. But if they go dark, ratings will drop them too.
What is dark, though? They can be thematically dark. They can be just viably dark. You don't want a underworld show to be light if it's cool for those episodes. It's all variable.
Matt says by the end of Game of Thrones, the budget per episode is around $15 million. Well, yeah, but most of that's going towards the actors who have had 6 seasons behind them. They're probably getting paid more than season 1 for sure. So you already have the sets. You already have a lot of the production stuff already done. So
certainly inflation of actors' budget, but a side actor isn't going to go from like the lady who was the main psychic's girlfriend. Like, she's not going to go up from 80,000 to 1 million over 7 years. I mean, they can only go up so much. The mains are going to go up higher, obviously, but you can imagine, every other episode, if you've got Game of Thrones specifically, everyone's now going through a winter land. Okay, well, now we need 75 winter coats that look like the possible hero coats for the season. That's going to be, $90,000 to do just for that scene. And obviously the CG. I mean, the CG is tremendously expensive. That's every battle. When you talk about budget for an episode, I mean, God, when you talk about what do you say, 15 million. I mean, that single battle, the one at night. I mean, that's going to be sort of 9 million just to do that with all the extra. Because also, I think filming days. If John Stanton's only filming 2 days a week, like he's not getting paid. You know what I mean? You can't justify a huge pay rise if you're actually doing less days, because more stuff stunt work, more stuff is other stuff. So you can actually be clever with that. Yeah.
Eric Martin is here. Hey, Eric, how's it going?
Eric.
Throws in $10. Thank you. I'd like to see some more DS9 characters featured in something. Maybe Lieutenant Kim finally.
Yeah.
I also think an Enterprise C era series would be cool, as that era got skipped. Yes, we've talked about that for years, that we'd love to see that. We're just afraid that if they do it, they're going to fuck it up. That's the problem. So,
yeah. And
it's a fertile field to explore and do stories in. So,
yeah, but certainly no one has come back from DS9. It is a weird omission, given that they're all so developed. But I mean, they're all kind of also like, where do you take Kira without pissing somebody off? I certainly didn't approve of what we did behind Doc, where they put them, because they wanted to make like a fun, radical new season that will be tricky for the audience to take in, because that's exciting. But it's like, I disagree with over half of those choices. I don't think Kira would become Kai and then work with the Dominion to do this. I don't agree with any of that. I would not buy that. So, tricky.
Well, Squadra Course says, what about a series built around Esri on the USS Aventine? That would be great. She still looks fantastic. I would love to see what her character's up to. Absolutely.
I just don't like Aventine very much. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing to write home about. I know people love it, but I don't know. Does not grab me.
Does not compute. Andromeda throws in £5. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. And these mount up, guys. 5 mount up.
Yes.
Yes.
More than halfway now, so keep them coming. Andromeda says, I'd like a post DS9 show, Cardassia in disarray after the war, inspired by things like collapse of the USSR. Their fleet could be old surplus DS9 era stuff, etc. Yeah. Again, that's another fertile field for making some good content. Brian Donaldson throws in $10. I really miss the old 20+ episodes per season older shows used to have. I feel like they're trying to sell us the same product in a smaller package at the same price. Yeah. See, that's the thing with the 24, 26 episode seasons. You got more hit and misses, though. There was a lot of, wow, I say that, but there's the odd bad episode from pretty much every season. Some are very bad. Other ones are just kind of compared to the rest of the season. But as a whole, like, you have more chances to tell more stories, and you really get to know the characters a lot better, I think. That being said, Picard season 2, it was a great idea for a story, but it could have been a 3 or 4 part episode, or 3 or 4 parts instead of 10. Like when they stretched it to 10, it just got very thin in some places, and it just felt like padding, and wasn't much of a story being told, unfortunately. So, yeah, I prefer the longer seasons as well. I think most people do.
Well, Sobraxis has a bold take. Let us know. And you guys, these $10 are really helping. That's super amazing. Sobraxis says, no, a new show is in the 2480s, which would be a lifetime later. Would be the best. No old characters! I hate the small universe syndrome. But tell me what you think, Stuart, after an ad.
Yes, the ad is good. Welcome the ad. Oh, ad, we worship thee. That was awesome.
They are sent by the great koala and everything.
Thoughts? 2480s. You with new characters. Yes, I totally agree. I think a lot of novels and stuff for Star Trek are very fan servicey in that everything references something else, and it's great. It's fun to read. It's fun to see the characters or events happen in the background or whatever. But yeah, I totally agree with you that a new show with new characters and not really relying on any crutches, just kind of out there on its own merits, um, is something that would be fantastic to see. But at the same time, it's the same reason they do reboots and sequels to franchises. It's a guaranteed built-in audience already, and or a fan of a character. So I understand why they don't do that necessarily, but you still got the franchise power behind it if you did a Star Trek show, even with all new characters. So I don't know where I'm going with this. What are your thoughts on that one?
There's two elements to this. If there's always a Trek show in production from the end of Nemesis onwards, right? Then yes, try new things. But the very fact is, Patrick Stewart will not be able to make a new Trek anything in a couple of years. He'll be too ill. Shatner will not be around in the 2030s, very likely. All these actors have a very limited time scale to be able to bring back people that we care about so deeply, that if they do say, screw the old cast's gone, then once they are gone, like Nichelle Nichols, that is it. And yes, they can recast younger people, but that certainly diminishes the character in a general sense, like the legacy. They could have done more, etc. So saying no old characters, well, you've got them while you got them. And like Tim and Garrett still look okay for their ages, you could still pull off a bit older than them. But at some point they'll just be grandparents that look to whatever. Like, use the time you can use them. Like, Scott Bakula looks so much older than he did at Enterprise. He looks massively different. And that could work for your favour, but he looks far older versus how Patrick looked 20 years after TNG. Talking about his diet or something, whereas like Ezri, etc. You know, use them while you got them. It's such a shame to say, you know, like, my kids will never have this, or yes, you can't create new without new, but you know,
all the old content's still there. So
yes, but these people aren't just actors; they're family members, you know, and if treated properly, it's lovely to re-exist with them, especially as they're just a paycheck away. You know.
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to look at this, you know, this new Kirk actor on the screen. Like, he's never going to be James T. Kirk the way Shatner was. Like, yeah. That's never going to happen. Chris Pine certainly wasn't, and he came and went, and okay, he was Kirk sort of for a bit, but there's not going to have that longevity of anything, really. Not really. But you used to have Shatner alive today, but he won't be at a certain point, and then you have lost Kirk forever. We've lost Nichelle Nichols forever, right? It's you know, it's yeah.
We found out some of the ads people.
You know, bring out
Yeah, we found out some of the ads people are getting. Dan got an ad for chocolate milkshake, and Doc McGillicuddy got an ad for belly fat removal. Everybody's getting different ads. It's cool. You got to share your ads after each ad break. That's funny. Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, throws in $10 without any comment, but thank you so much. That adds up and helps out immensely, more than you know. Patrick James throws in $10 as well. Sorry I'm late. Would it be desirable for Discovery to revert to an episodic format? Maybe they have not heard. Yes, it would be. It's proven itself for 50 years that that's a structure that works well in Star Trek. And Strange New Worlds returned to it while still keeping overarching character stories. And it's fantastic. Yes, I think it would very much benefit Discovery to have a new adventure each week instead of one long drawn out story that's all right, but not super great and just feels hollow at the end of it, you know? That's my thought. Squadra Course throws in $1. Again, going for the last super chat slot. Squadra Course also said that there's no pocket books aren't even interested in you unless you're like a established author already. Yeah, they won't even look at you without the main ships or characters. So they don't want. I think they might have learned their lesson with, what was it, Star Trek Excalibur? John, I forget the captain's name. I was never interested in those books, so I can see why they want established characters and stuff for those stories, because I'm much more drawn to, yeah, a TOS story with Kirk, Spock, and the Enterprise than I am to a new ship and that I don't know anything about, never seen. If I have those two books side by side, I'm going with the one I know, you know? So I understand why companies do that kind of thing, but that being said, the new stuff is could be fantastic.
Well, especially as if it's actually a book, the book is not a dying medium, but it's certainly a very small return medium. Imagine making a massive loss on a book. It's like, well, that you learned your lesson. If companies only doing so much profit a year, and you burn a half it on a bad book sale, I mean, you're gonna do that again, aren't you? Whereas you can have a good, David Mack brings an audience, Star Trek TNG brings an audience. You throw in a cool, now it's Trelane and TNG. We've now gained, and we know how hard it is to get our minimum for super chats with a dedicated audience of 8 years. Imagine having all those things and not getting your book sales. Imagine being David Mack and saying, "Mate, you sold 30% under your last book." And he's like, "What can I do?" And that will make a better book. It's like, well, if no one's reading it, they won't. That's not the problem, is it? He's put all the work in, done all the right things, and yet, we should get a minimum every week, no problem, or every day, no problem, really, with our audience, etc. But or viewership, etc. So, and certainly we're all so busy with our lives with so much choice. Truly new is a risk, especially a book where you've got to get through a lot of pages. Whereas things like Prodigy and Picard, Prodigy more so, they did the best of both worlds. They have an entirely new show with a legacy to help be a shepherd.
Yep.
Who's not barely in it, but I mean, certainly isn't the primary character. And yes, as the season's going to go on, it's going to get more integrated with. But that's like genius, Star Trek Worf. That's the obvious one as well. Have Michael Dorn as Worf as the lead, JG as the as the Chancellor in half the episodes, and then the other ones are new characters, and you see who sings and who swims. And if you've got 30 legacy actors like a Julian Bashir show. Starfleet Medical, it's Julian Bashir, and you get Plasky Tump occasionally in her wheelchair, and Beverly. Like, you could do an entire show of a new, like, house, do a whole medical show, and Bashir's the main, but really it's an ensemble, and you'll create 7 new cool characters, and whatever. But Discovery tried that, and none of the characters stick in season 1, really. And Vance stuck because he's his own unique oomph and he's Starfleet, but yeah, it's tricky.
Raj says Terry Farrell wants to return to Star Trek as Jadzia. Yeah, I saw that article too. She talked about the possibilities in sci-fi that something could probably be done. I don't disagree. I think it'd be fantastic to have her back. But I don't know. I couldn't think of a good story idea for that. But
I mean, I probably could pretty quickly.
I know you could.
I'm doing so much of that.
Kind of why I read his comment.
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, they also want a payday, not in a bad way, Like they'll take it. It's always funny when you, because then every actor, as you know, is different any given day at a convention where you might see them. Might have had jet lag, might have had a bad day, might have had a carousel go faulty at the hotel and then at the airport, and then be annoyed when they come to set and whatever. But you ask most Trek actors,
bad news at home when they're away,
Yeah. But you ask them, would you come back? It's like saying, would you want to get paid $500,000 for 3 days of work for a character you've played for years that's easy? No. Well, yeah, obviously. And I get charged more at conventions. And more people will come see me. The answer is always yes, right? Always yes, with enough money. Always yes. Do you not think Patrick did the Marvel because they paid him more money? There's nothing creatively great in that appearance. And that's not a bad thing. It's good for the fans in general. But asking them, do you want to come back, is like, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, Jarzia throws in $10.
Dang.
I think Strange New Worlds Season 2 has to be the most exciting for me. Season 1 was a great return to form, but that said, I don't expect much from Prodigy and was very pleasantly surprised, so it's a close second. Yeah, we didn't know what to expect from Prodigy. I've been blown away by it. It's really, each week, just been proving itself better and better, so.
And what was your favourite episode, Stuart?
My favorite episode of Prodigy?
I'm making
Don't
you
remember. Don't remember. Probably the Kobayashi Maru episode. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. That's a good question. Shut up. What about you? What's your favorite one?
Oh, that episode easily.
Oh, okay.
And it was written by a friend of the channel, Aaron Waldke, I think his name.
Aaron Waldke, yes, indeed.
Who is currently in Scotland with birds.
Nice. Patrick James, $10.
Thank you.
Quick question, as you are my main source for all things Trek. Any news on the status of Eagle Moss? Recently retired and would like to get some models. Nothing concrete, no. Rumor mill is that they could be bought out and continue on, but haven't heard much.
I have heard that one of the lines has been bought by another company, so the company itself, fuck them, like as in the world is saying fuck them, but people can buy the remnants. So one of the lines has been bought to be made continued because the entire architecture is still there. They just have to get the sub license, like buy that out, and then they can just continue where they were, give or take. So that I think was sort of let slip in an interview with one of the people saying that that's now pretty much safe, like all but they're making them now. They didn't say what. But since there's, we think of Trek, they also had the Marvel line, they had Game of Thrones. I mean, they had so many licenses that were, those contracts can be literally taken and dumped to a new company, like literally verbatim. So if a company wants to make money on, wants to suddenly take over and do Marvel figures, well, or reissue the old ones.
Yeah.
I mean, they've, imagine saying, well, I think those models made 6 years ago will sell. Let's make another 500,000 and, sell them in our shops that we own, etc. So. I bet there'll be an announcement before the end of the year, I would say, because part of it would have to be, getting them integrated, as in the pipeline, working out who's going to run that, social media. How do you relaunch it as a hey, the new and improved Star Trek, Enterprise D collection. You already have the first 60. We're starting at 61.
Yeah,
you have to start at 1 again, wouldn't you? Really, if you want to relaunch it.
Phase 2 or New Horizons.
Dear me. Yes.
Squadra Course as a premature snipe. I think there's medication for that. Squadra Course.
Premature snipulation.
SVS Guru 2000. €10. Thank you.
Boom!
Do you think that in the main timeline, Earth developed into the Federation instead of the Terran Empire because the crew of the Enterprise E filled Cochrane's mind with tales of utopia? No. I do not. Quite the opposite, actually. Because the Borg showed up, I think the Starfleet might have become more militaristic.
But discovery.
Anyway.
Well, I don't know how influential. Like, Cochrane wasn't the president of the Federation. He wasn't the president of the Space Administration. He was the guy that unlocked the technology that made Earth go pizzam into the universe. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't a businessman. He was an inventor / dude that liked to get drunk. So, and they even made reference to Enterprise. He said things in later meetings that people ignored because they sounded crazy. Yeah. Exactly. So, I think for the most part, his world has already changed. Once he makes the leap, I don't really think he's going to be able to influence politics in the same way. It sounds odd, I know, given he's the guy, but he's the guy that opened the door. He's not the guy that walked through it. Starfleet-wise, Federation-wise. He didn't form the Federation. He didn't form Starfleet. He didn't form any of that stuff. Starfleet licensed out his warp engine, Somebody formed it in America and they licensed his warp engine design, and then they made ships. And they hired him as a consultant, but he didn't. You know what I mean? It's never been made clear, but no, I think he wouldn't be that direct. What versus Archer being influenced by Future Guy and Daniels, that would have direct consequences to knowing and vibing the it will be a Federation, would give him a bonus confidence level that he wouldn't have otherwise. That, I think, would encourage either a slight quickening or at least the strengthening sooner. Yeah. There you go.
Agreed.
I had to think about that. That was a deep brain thing, that was.
He's burned out now. Area 51, $5.
Yeah, there you go.
I pray that Picard finishes strong. It would be a shame if it flamed out.
Flame on!
Better to burn out than to fade away.
I get the impression they might do a movie after it. They've mentioned it vaguely in that Patrick said he'd be up for it.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like that would give them the out that they're looking for. Because even though it feels like it's the final season, I don't get the sense that they're promoting it as the end of the era of Next Generation forever. You know, a hero's last journey. You know? That hasn't quite been... But since, JJ4 has had 7 directors, 7 start dates, 26 writers, 430
no confirmed
stars.
actors.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I still love the fact that it was a re-announced for the 4th time, and then Zachary Quinto's like, I mean, they announced it. If they want to hire me, I'm here, available, I'll do it. It's like, but you get the cast first before you announce it. They did. Yeah. Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Because you kind of need them to make the film. But
Carl Urban might not be able to be in it, he was saying, because he's working on The Boys and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And Chris Pine might charge too much because he's a multi, you know, he's a as close to A-lister as we can get these days, a B-lister. Like, he's going to charge 5-10 times more than he did the first time round. But if you're doing a Picard series TV movie, and I mean streaming service movie, because you have straight to Netflix movies, this is a normal thing. You give them, you know, half of a season's worth of budget for a 2-hour movie, therefore you can have really nice production values. If you're able to reuse the Stargazer sets and what you already have, you're saving $1 million flat out. And then you give them a epic hurrah. But that said, if it's a 4th showrunner, it have to be Terry to keep the thematic ties. Depends how final the ending is, because we'll know I think we'll know by episode 7 if this is an end or an end. You know? Not that you should end like Geordie's story or Beverly's story, because they're still young enough to have more stories. Picard, fine. But, you know, that's my thoughts.
Dementia throws in $10.
Bosh, thank you.
I like Paul Wesley's Kirk more than Chris Pine's Kirk, so hoping to see more of him in the future. I disagree with you 100% on that. Paul Wesley just does not have the on-screen gravitas of somebody that should be playing Kirk, in my opinion. We have to see season 2, the other episode that he's in, or episodes, to really make that determination, because it was kind of an alternate future, an alternate Kirk that we saw. So it's hard to say, but I'm not impressed with the guy. And everybody's comparing him to Jim Carrey for looks, and I kind of get that, but he's not Kirk to me.
I feel like the good of Chris Pine was fantastic, the bad was terrible. But that's the writing. You know, watching him run around with giant hands is not good Kirk. Having him be in Beyond, you know, there are scenes that he's like absolutely golden, like Kirk, right?
And no, I got the non-tongue.
Yeah.
I got non-tongue.
And that's not to say it's bad acting, it's just that isn't... Paul Wesley was a whole load of good / fine, right? He wasn't shining, he was doing well. He had a better average probably than Chris Pine, but Chris had far higher highs and far lower lows. That's what I'll say about that.
Yeah. Excuse me, I just gotta sneeze, I think.
So our current poll result at 100 votes. Boy, what a time to ask. Do you want to see a Picard spin-off like Star Trek 7 maybe, or Discovery for season 6? We have 88 people over 12. 88 of you said a Picard spin-off. 12 of you voted a Discovery season 4 renewal. Are you surprised? What do you think, Stuart?
I am not surprised at all.
I am.
I'm not.
I keep trying for that 100% pulse, Stuart. It doesn't work.
Oh my god.
That's what I was doing there. Thanks, guys. Not surprised. But
Are
God,
you doing a new poll?
Yeah. But I think Discovery will get a 7-season run. It's so icky, you know. It's like, really, they got 7. Okay.
They're still not going to be anywhere near the number of episodes of
Sure.
TNG or Voyager or DS9, so it's fine. SVS Guru 2000 throws in €10. I'm saying it because in Enterprise, the mirror version shot the Vulcan landing party and stormed the ship. My thought was that he did that because his head was still filled with post-World War III paranoia. Well, first of all, don't get me started on that, because the whole thing was that from Cochrane, and that the Phoenix, the way it was, that never happened in the prime timeline. My headcanon. So, good point, though. It's just there's so many different alternate realities. Who knows what caused it? I don't think that's the case, though, at all. I think, if anything, the whole First Contact thing actually led to a more militaristic Starfleet or Terran Empire, which were more xenophobic as a result. But hey. Eric Martin throws in $5. What about the series about an adventure of several ships instead of just one? Just saying. Series about the adventures of several ships. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. I still want an anthology show where every season is a different era, a different ship. Maybe the stories all linked together. There was 4 books back in the day, Voyager, DS9, TOS, and TNG. It was the Furies. It was like an overarching story that included all of the different shows. The 4 books it's a fantastic story. I think something like that, where there's a touchstone to a certain story element or character across an anthology series where every season is different, would be interesting as hell. But it would have to be very smartly done to be good. I don't know if you know which books I'm talking about, but
no, I don't think I do.
Yeah, they were really good. There's 4 of them, and put all the covers together, and there's the face of the villains that induce fear. But yeah, it starts in TOS and then carries over even into the Delta Quadrant. So that was, I think, an anthology series like that would be awesome. So kind of that thing, different ships, but you know.
I mean, let's be honest, Stuart. What am I doing in Trek shorts?
Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, I kind of did it. I've got TNG season 1. I've got TNG season 3 to 7. I've got Voyager. I've got First Contact. I've got Picard season 1, 2. I've got Picard flashback. I've got unnamed. I've got Wrath of Khan. I've got TOS. I mean, I am doing anthology. And being able to push with the age tech, as you know, Stuart, being able to push an actor from, actually about 30 to 20 and then to 50. I mean, that's what's great about setting somebody in the TNG timeline, is that they can live through the TNG show, the Voyager show, the DS9 show, the post show. All of that history feels different eras, even though it's relatively a lifetime. They can live through all of it. It's such a fertile ground. I'm, as you know, I wrote a thing today. I had to finish it for next week. It's like and it's the only story which has Harriman, who's my male lead, in the Dominion War full on. It's the only one at the moment. And I always write him much happier. And so to write him actually war scarred was super interesting, because I never go that way, because he kind of bounces back from it. Keely less so, but him more so. And in any other story, he wouldn't yell at this other character, because it's too much. He's a captain, you wouldn't yell. But in this one part of his life, you can understand the enhanced emotion, where you're looking at the Dominion murdering, destroying thousands a day. How the hell are you going to stay calm when presented with something that goes against that, right? You can't. It's your friends. I'll spoil the one line that I really liked that I wrote. It's in the middle when the other actor is saying, well, war sucks, I've had loss too, and he says, I had an engineering group at the academy. There were 17 of us. Great people, great friends, great experiences. There's 5 left. That's what Dominion War did. These were my best friends. I've got 5 left, and I can never, and it's going to be a heart-wrenching moment, hopefully, because it's like, yes, the longer it goes on, the more people die. How can you just, yeah.
You need to have one of your characters like Nim, like the last adventure, get thrown back in time to TOS era and have to die in a different time. That'd be great.
Yeah, time travel is tricky. I don't use it much, but it feels like I use it a lot, which makes it tricky to use. I have, okay, let me, can I show you something? Okay, I'll show you, I show you lots of things, Stuart.
I don't know. Well, let me read the super chat so they don't get bogged down. Tab Extra throws in 20 krona.
Thank you so much.
A new Kirk actor can't do Shatner-style acting.
No, he can't. It's not even that
he
one.
Can. I think Chris Pine did his own good version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you don't have to do the cadence of Shatner.
There's a magic something of who Kirk is, and the guy hasn't got it yet. It's not about mimicking Shatner, it's about matching Kirk. There's a subtlety to that.
Yep. And General Grievous, member for 13 months at the rank of captain. So Captain General or General Captain. I don't know what you want to go by. But Picard spin-off, I would rather have a molar extracted through my nose than suffer through more of Discovery. It should be hauled away as garbage. Well, there you go. That's his answer.
As garbage. There you go.
And as the new poll, if you guys want to go vote on it, who was a better Kirk? Strange New Worlds Kirk or the JJ Films Kirk?
I don't know who's going to win that. I'm interested. I'm trying to find how long ago this.
Yes, Devo, I agree with you there. Fingers crossed that season 3 will be a good finale to the TNG cast. They've earned it. They earned a good send-off.
And maybe Data's third send-off.
Yeah.
Who's to say? So this is a chap that I met at the Star Trek convention. Sorry you can't, Savannah. It doesn't make you. So this is a person that, I'm not spoiling for the audience, this is someone that I met at a recent Star Trek convention who does an impression of the character they're dressed as so actively Oh my gosh.
Oh, shit. Can you see me?
No, I cannot.
Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed.
That was weird. My microphone has been getting quieter and quieter and quieter in my ear, and then it just stopped working. And the video went out at the same time. I didn't touch anything.
Oy.
I think it's time to get a new Blue Yeti mic.
Yeah. Mine died a death, so I had to get a new one.
Yeah.
And they're not that cheap. But anyway, so yeah, this actor, they do an impression of who they're dressed as. Like I say, without spoiling. Okay. It's on Facebook. And they're very interested in doing a fan film because they want to show Real Peace as this character, but you can't just really go out and do a film. They're a bit shorter than the actual actor. But they did a good impression. I had them read like a scene from another film that's entire. Because I obviously had dialogue from other films. I could just give them, and he did a decent job. So I could have Nim or someone like to go back in time, meet this character, playing this character, and he actually had none of the actual props and costumes. The uniform was fantastic, as you can see, but obviously we have all the props from the old era. Like, here you go. Here's some hero props. What do you think? How does he look?
Is it on screen or
Facebook
what?
Stream. It's just to you. I'm not spoiling it.
Oh.
Because I don't know if it's going to happen, so I'm not spoiling it for the audience.
Okay, let's see here. So I guess I can't really say anything. Nice.
Just in vagaries.
I'd be excited if that works out for you because yes,
Doesn't
He's
necessarily.
already a better whoever than
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah, I know. Not like it's not. That's not necessarily a huge achievement in itself, but yeah, very small though. He had big boots on as well. But certainly, being able to utilize that character would be pretty special. I know others have done
Hmm.
it. I've certainly never done it. Or bring them into the future. What's more interesting? Going back to TOS or having them appear in the present, as in First Contact era. That's more exciting to me personally, probably. How would they
Hmm.
react? Because I've never seen. I mean, they could never do that. The show doesn't exist yet. It'd be hard to bring this character into the future without the future existing. What do you think? What would you
Yeah,
be more interested in seeing then if you had to pick one of the two?
coming forward, but there's got to be a good way to do it. Can't really discuss much without them knowing what the hell we're talking about.
Yes,
So.
indeed.
Moving on though, SVS Guru 2000 throws in €10.
Thank you so much.
I didn't care for J.J. Kirk. He was all the exaggerated Kirk stereotypes that accumulated over the decades, distilled into a caricature. Paul Wesley's felt closer to the original than Pine.
Well, caricature, yes, but that was how the whole thing's been played.
Yeah. Area 51, $10. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, guys. You guys are killing it today.
Mm-hmm.
Basics. I think for a decent Kirk, intelligence, good humor, leadership on display, but includes others for their opinions and a healthy dose of swagger. Yes. Good description of the character. Yeah, totally agree. Squadra course. Sniping in with $1. I mean, you're getting closer to the mark there, but who's going to snipe out Squadra course? Because he's going for a last super chat slot. We need somebody to snipe in. But hey, 123 likes, guys. That is awesome. Let's try to get to 130 though. 7 more likes if it's possible. 7 of you out there watching haven't hit that like button. Give it a tap. Keep the super chats coming.
Yeah, $50
We're doing very well.
Will be golden.
Yeah.
So, are we any differently excited at the nearing the end of this then?
Nope. I'm still. My list remains the same.
Well, side question then. Are you more or less excited with the trailer or teaser for season 3 of Picard? In pure excitement value.
Am I more excited? No.
Or less.
I'd say less excited the more I watch it. And also seeing fans' reaction online to the new ship design and stuff. Like, I get it. There's no context. There's no explanation to why the ship looks the way it does or anything yet. So it's rough, but yeah, I'm getting more discouraged the more I see, unfortunately. Hopefully that changes, but it is still a teaser, they said. So
yeah. I mean, really, it was a ship reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of really what it is.
Yeah, which confused a lot of people, angered others. It's kind of a shame, honestly. They're trying to do something good, but
it's just when the Stargazer was so universally enjoyed, it's kind of weird to go back to less so well enjoyed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been surprised by it as well. Okay, then the Prodigy scene has made you more or less excited.
Prodigy scene made me more excited. I'm very interested to find out about Acuna now, what part he plays. And that episode is called Metamorphosis because Murph morphs into something new. It'd be good to see more of Murph, like a different. How is Murph going to look in, like, let's say 7 seasons? Is that going to be an ongoing thing where he just looks different all the time because he's always changing into his final form? I don't know. Is he a Pokemon? I think so. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited because that little teaser was nice. Seeing the ship chase, the scale of the Protostar in comparison to the Dauntless. But I got kind of a weird vibe from Janeway. A lot of people said, yeah, she's angry, which I get. There's probably something that happened,
Maybe she's
but
hangry. She skipped lunch.
she seems kind of evil almost, and I don't think they're gonna go that way with it. But it just was an odd thing to see. I do love the explanation of we can't open hailing frequencies because we'll infect them as well. So there's something going on there, which,
Tommy.
probably pissing Janeway off that they're not talking to her. But
so I did get the trailer up, and I can play it in modicum doses. Let me just see if I can find an interesting frame. Yeah, I was shocked by not a trailer. It's probably quite a smart move, though, because it gives you zero context and yet lots of visuals.
Yeah.
Versus the entire season. Also, I'm sure still working on the end of season 2. There's probably some really cool things I don't want to give away. But yeah, to reveal this guy, the Okuda guy, not Okuda, what's his name?
Okuna.
Kuna Matata, yes. I mean, that's a bold choice either way. And it is the same voice actor returning, which is fun after this many years.
Bill Campbell.
But to have that be so close to Federation space, that's weird as well. Because most civilian ships don't have, like, warp 9 point something. And so either this means Protostar got damn close to Alpha Quadrant space, which is possible. Because we know that the Dauntless has Slipstream, so it can zip around. So it can meet them in the Gamma Quadrant where they were. So to have him this far out, or are they this far in? You know what I mean? This is what the Delta Quadrant shows, Stuart. Something in the Alpha Quadrant, that's even weirder. So that was such a unique thing. It's different to have a Ferengi, because they can just migrate, 50 years ago and stay around. But to have him was like, ooh, okay. And I remember that Aaron tweeted about this, where this is like 2 years after Lower Decks. It's very, very close. And so he joked that he ran out of his hair dye between the 2 seasons. That's why he looks so much worse. Because he shouldn't necessarily look this much older in this many years. But he said, he's been hair dyeing his hair for like 20 years. He just stopped doing it.
But the thing is, too, there's also could be time travel shenanigans going on with Prodigy, which we're not sure of the context of. Could
Matata.
be.
Future Matata. Yeah, that's true. And maybe he was in a cryopod. I mean, you've seen Atlantis, the secret. Wait, what? They're stuck in cryo on the left pier? What the hell? Twist! Yeah, maybe he was from the future and stuck. I mean, he certainly looks like a grizzled 60-year-old.
I thought it was Chakotay at first.
Yeah.
But there's no tattoo.
That
would have been great to have Chakotay lose the eye on the side with his tattoo.
Oof, yeah. But also the eye loss is from Low Decks. They gave him that, and then they kept consistent here, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like
Eric.
Oh, sorry.
Eric Martin throws in $2 and says, "I see your snipe and raise you a Ferengi." Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, throws in $5, and here's another thumbs up. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. It's nice.
SVS
nice
Guru.
It's very rewarding.
Yes, SVS Guru 2000 throws in €5.
Mm-hmm.
They could just replicate a primitive radio and call them that way. Janeway's could pick it up. Seen in the 37s.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just like we can't rebuild a Apollo 11 capsule because the tech's so antiquated we can't make it anymore. Why would these alien races from another quadrant and a Tellarite know how to do that? When you get so advanced, I mean, could they make a simple combustion engine for a car? No, probably not. It's so simple that it's just... Now, I've got the shot up, and it was not controversial, but talked about, that either that Protostar is diddly, or Dauntless is huge among us, because this scale difference is astounding.
Yes.
Thoughts when you saw it?
I think this Protostar is just a very small ship. But I didn't think it was that small. It could be both. It could be that this Protostar is small, which we know. And this could be a larger Dauntless than the Dauntless we got in Voyager.
Which wasn't huge.
No, it's based on the same design, but they could have upscaled it. Because it is different. Because that one wasn't actually a real ship. So... And I would say it's a perspective thing, but it's absolutely 100% not. With the Protostar in the foreground, it's like, holy shit.
And I think it is a lot of proportion as well, because we know the Pro Star is 6 decks.
Yeah.
Which is not its Define height, which is pretty small, but you put an E up to the Define and it won't look like this. So I'm thinking it is upscaled a bit. Very hard to tell. But I do think his lenses as well.
Yeah.
It's zoomed in a certain way, very close to camera. Like I had a shot in one of my Trek shorts where, it was in a Drone Dominion episode where there's an Enterprise, a Constitution class, and a Dreadnought, and because one had to be further away to create the move, the scale looked entirely broken. It's like, well, no, it's further away from camera, and like this is I had kind of to say, guys, it's okay because I don't have to cheat and make it 3 times as big and ruin the shot, etc. So it's yeah. But we get clear views,
course.
I mean, look at that bottom view. It zooms right on by.
Yeah. Well, Squadron, of course, we do have the scale of the Protostar, if I remember correctly, size-wise. I just can't remember what it is.
Yeah, they did say it.
They did.
I just didn't write it down. Yeah. Not big. It's not big.
Failure. Fred McGrath.
Hi, Fred.
$5. I wish they'd bring the Gull Dun Bird of Prey to Star Trek's TV so I can get a 16-inch version of it in the STO game. Been asking for it for over 5 years now. What is the Gull Dun Bird of Prey? That doesn't ring any bells with me.
Oh, it's just a Star Trek Online variant. I think it just means he wish there was a bird of prey that was made of height. It's a good looking bird of prey. I dig it. It's cool. I like it. Yeah, I mean, all ships should be T6 really, because then you can fly anything whenever. But yeah, I mean, look at that. That is very dauntlessy. They haven't changed much at all. Proportionally, they have, but yeah, the slipstream core still the same emitter. Lots of glows that are overblown.
Might be worth a look and a comparison again. We kind of did that at the end of mid-season break.
Like 18mm distortion. This is pretty clear. Some good. But look at that bridge. Yeah, so oh, that bridge, Stuart. I've always liked the bridge because it's so fun. It's so weird to see it verbatim. Fucking hell. It's like it's the same bridge. It's so accurate when it shouldn't be. I love it. I love it. And we have primary colours for the uniform, Stuart. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. Boom. Yeah. Yeah. And all good things come badges. Yeah. Very happy about the hat. Are they from the future? Probably.
Yeah, I'm super excited for Prodigy to come back. I'm so happy it's so soon too. It's gonna like Lordec's gonna feed right into it, and then we're on our way with Prodigy again, which I'm super happy about.
Because there's a giant story versus Lower Decks, they hit and miss, which is the opposite of what you normally want. You've been fighting against those big stories, but because Prodigy has a fit, like you can sense the cool story going in, it's kind of yeah.
We get to play in the sandbar.
Go. Yes.
How's the size comparison look in the warp tunnel or the slipstream thing?
No, it's warp. I will find that in a second. Just fix the thing I broke.
Thank you, Reed Allen. Reed says, in my own personal opinion, with the way that CBS has completely butchered Star Trek, the late Gene Roddenberry is spinning in his grave at warp 9.975. Just my own opinion, anyway. And then says, anyways, with all that being said, I honestly love your videos, dudes.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Although he was spinning his grave from Star Trek 6 onwards, so...
Well, from TNG season 2 pretty much onwards. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't like Star Trek 2. He didn't like Star Trek 6. DS9 would have done the same thing to him anyway. So, yep. Dan Ben says the Prodigy is 312 meters long. Exclamation, question mark. Yeah, I remember we had a scale at one point, but I can't remember what it is. I think 312 might be a little bit big. It's not a big ship. You can tell by the interiors.
Which ship, sorry?
The Protostar.
Well, that's how much do you say?
312 meters.
Well, but that's a deceptive thing because it's the nacelles are outstretched. I mean, there are things that, like the Discovery is insane, but half it's the nacelles. So it's kind of it's a tricky comparison to do. Let me although that ship not so much. But I mean, you've got to think though that everything from the neck back is not hull of usable space. So that's like half of it is not actually space. And the entire bottom is a shuttle bay. So that takes that as well. So you've only got like very small amount of internal volume. Very, very, very small. So even at that length, it's sort of an irrelevant point. Of course, it's longer than Defiant because the Defiant doesn't have long protruding nacelles. But the Defiant's wider. Yes. So it...
Devo77X says Gene would have hated any episodes involving space pirates. Really? And what about the Cage with the Orion Slave Syndicate and Slave Girls?
Wasn't there an episode of TAS where there's a slaver race?
Well, there's one called The Slaver Weapon. That's the name of the episode. So, yeah. But, Anyway, yeah, my list hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And then just to recap my list, it's Prodigy, Picard Season 3, Strange New Worlds, and then Discovery. I know Strange New Worlds is going to be good, so not too worried about it. I have hopes for Season 3 of Picard being amazing and kind of the TNG Season 8 that we all want, we needed. So yeah, that's my excitement levels. Prodigy's definitely won my heart. I said from before it even started that it was going to be a good show, but I didn't know what to expect, and it's just proven me, or it's impressed me every episode. So Trek Revere says maybe 160 meters for the Protostar. We got to get the actual numbers because
that's too small. Defiant's 170, and that's not long. Yeah. It'd be more. I'd say 200. Oh, is that feet? But I'm thinking feet. Probably not though. Just go meters. I have got
really hard to hear you.
Oh, hello. Sorry. But also Daniel asks, Trekyards, are we going to Destination Germany this year? Which is this month, Stuart. Are you going to Destination in Germany
Not
this year?
Not this month. Hell no.
There's also only apparently like 7 guests going, so it's a little bit light on things.
Speaking of light, I'd like to get to 150 likes. We're at 134, so we only need 16 more. So if you're one of the 16 people out there watching right now that hasn't hit that like button, give it a like. And yeah, another $12 would be an awesome super chat
that's
goal.
Not much.
Well, 40 would be better.
Oh.
But another 12 would be a good number as well. So, I mean, we haven't had a last super chat attempt from Squadra Course in a while. So now might be the time to start doing that because we're winding down here. We've got a few more minutes left. And so, yeah, if we can get, another $12 and or $40 to close out would be awesome. 40 would be preferred, honestly. But
And that's also not that far.
Yep.
Not far at all.
Sci-Fi Quest. Remember when we used to be explorers? Right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky which era you're in. If you do a TNG thing, everything should be exploring. I don't know, we'll see. I think Picard Season 3 they're going to keep to the vest anyway. And not give too much away. Yeah. It is tricky, Stuart. It is tricky.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hey, we're doing much better than the Discovery Season 1 era. We know Prodigy's going to be good, if not great. Lower Decks, great, if not fantastic. Stranger Worlds, good, if not great. Discovery, okay, if not good. And Picard, shit, if not great.
Yeah.
It's good
well, Fill Up Gaming is here, and he has he's on camera. He's in uniform in Picard Season 3. So maybe after Season 3 airs, we can have him on to talk about his time on this
Titan, maybe?
Show.
Or Beverly ship. I mean, they've announced both.
Maybe he's standing behind 7 of 9 in that trailer. He's one of the people on the wall.
I was the 37 blurred pixels on the right. 7 down. You can see the fact that I am tall. Yes, excellent.
Squadricore snipes in with $1 for that last super chat slot. Who wants to dethrone Squadricore? Because he keeps trying. Yes. Snipe in now.
Or forever hold your super chat.
Yes.
No, it's a I just hope Lower Decks gives us some
better content.
Some home runs.
I know, Philip, you didn't say what you were wearing, but you're being optimistic. You're on camera, and you're in a scene that's pivotal, which probably won't be cut. So I know all of this. Keep us in mind. Don't go over to DJ Odyssey for that first interview, because nobody watches DJ Odyssey. We got a much bigger audience.
What
he's the whole thing, Samuel. Don't even worry.
Okay.
All right. So last super chat slot, Squadricourse right now. Come on, guys. Dethrone Squadricourse. We got a few more minutes here.
Yeah. So close, my friend. So close.
Just spam the chat right now. The one you're most excited for. Just one.
Yes.
Mine is Prodigy right now.
Yes.
So.
Mine as well, because of it's going to grow so much. And to think that, well, I mean, the fact that they find, well, we don't know when this episode is, this clip, but we do know.
First episode. I guarantee it'll be the first episode. I guarantee it'll be the first one, and or the second. It's not going to be like late in the season, or.
But we do know that the Janeway will discover the Dawn. In the Dawn, will discover the Protostar. That's exciting by itself.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the first things we see.
I want to see Starfleet ships. I want to see, let's see some, visit past regular station, or, hey, go DS9. Why not?
Trout Bum Wombat throws in $10 and says, "Hi guys, hello sir, how's it going?"
Hello there.
That hit our one goal.
Oof.
$23 is all we need now. Oh my God, SVS Guru 2000 with 20 euros took us over the top. When diplomacy fails, there is only one alternative: violence. Force must be applied without apology. It's the Starfleet way. Maybe this Janeway finally listened to that spider on her shoulder and ate Harry Kim.
Jesus.
Oh.
I mean, hey, she is a bit. That black turtleneck does certainly vibe the evil Janeway, yes. Or the fake evil Janeway.
I just hope she's not evil. I hope she's just pissed at this point.
I don't think for a second.
Okay, good.
She's just having a bad day. I mean, clearly they've just gone to an ice planet, beamed off, escaped, been found.
That would piss me off.
Yeah,
Beaming
and
down to an
why
ice
is
planet.
you found the ship that has one of my best friends on? They're not responding to us. They're running away. She's focused. It's one of my best friends, Chakotay. I would bloody assume. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm fine. She's pissed. I think that probably works quite well in the story.
Yeah, but I'm calling it right now. It's first episode. Mark my words.
I'm gonna say third episode. In that first episode is gonna be something. Second episode, they're getting close.
It's gonna be something.
Yep. And then it'll be like the end of 2 into 3. Give us an in first. A bit of cat and mouse, with the snow planet being the we stopped for a day, they found us, etc.
I agree with Sci-Fi Quest. This is before she got her coffee. She had to wake up, beam down to an ice planet, didn't get what she wanted.
Yeah.
The protostar's escaping, and she hasn't had a coffee yet. Boom. That would make me talk like that too. All right, cool.
And they said, and she says to her crew, "There's no coffee on that ice planet. Damn it!
Let's look for nebulas, people. Coffee nebulas.
Slipstream on my mark. Where, Captain? The nebula, the coffee nebula. Engage, but transport.
Yeah, they're chasing the protostar. It's like, make a
Veering
course
off.
diversion. Scoop up some nebula gas. Come back.
And Zero's like, Dal, they've gone. Where have they gone? To a nebula that's filled with caffeinated beverage particles. And then other gentleman's like, my kind of gal. She's stopped for coffee.
And then she just hollow makes one in her hand and takes a sip.
The fool glug. Zzz, the fool glug. She gets in a coffee loop because she's so excited by coffee. She has like 9 cups. Anyway, we're tangentially all over the place. Yes, Prodigy, you win an award, but Picard is a not overly close second, but a second. Stranger Worlds, a happy third, and Discovery, a happy fourth. But our poll results are slightly closer. I asked the question, who was the better Kirk? 64% of about 100 said JJ Films, which is, giving them an award for anything is an event.
We could have had a 100% poll here if you had added Shatner. Who was the better Kirk, Shatner, Strange New Worlds, or JJ?
No, we wouldn't have. Someone else. But yeah, JJ Kirk actually wins that poll. Oh, it's a bit unfair. He got 6 hours in essence. He wasn't born yet in 1, but in essence 6 hours. The guy got
Anyway,
15 minutes. Anyway,
on that note, till next time, guys. You know the routine. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is my first reaction to the next episode of Lower Decks. Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our full breakdown of the episode. So join us for those. So until then, he is Commander Cockings.
He is Captain Foley.